Good morning. Namaste. This is Dr. Uma Keduvetal, Department of Food Biotechnology, Faculty of Agricultural and Veterinary Sciences, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. And I'm joining you here to take the session of Metabolism and Bioenergetics Lab. So in this session, we will be covering column chromatography for the separation of plant pigments. Now, what is column chromatography? So the session name is separation and identification of various lipids by column chromatography. So in this, actually, what we'll be using is silica gel. So what is the principle behind column chromatography? So column chromatography is a technique that is used to separate chemical compounds based on their affinity to a particular matrix. So over here we have silica gel, and then we will be using solvents through in which all these are soluble. So say if we are using lipids and we are using hexane as the solvent, so what we will be doing is we will have the solvents that will be loaded onto the top of the column. And once that is loaded to the top of the column, so once that is loaded to the top of the column, then so this will be the column, and here the sample will be loaded. This entire column contains the stationary phase, which will be silica gel in this case. So once that has been added, then we will add the solvent. So the solvent will be moving through the phase due to gravity, and we are not going to use any pump or vacuum suction in order to make the solvent move through the column. It will simply move through because of gravity, because we are keeping the column as a vertical column. Now, when this is happening, what will happen is the compounds are going to separate out. And once that is starting to separate out, with time, what happens is, like if you can see over here, the blue fraction has absorbs highly onto silica gel. The red fraction absorbs a little less as compared to blue fraction, but slightly more than the green fraction. And there are these three fractions in here. So when this is happening, the green fraction, which has got the least affinity for silica gel, and so it does not absorb onto the silica gel, and so it will get eluted much faster, and that we can collect into a beaker, and that will be your first fraction. Now, after some time, with enough solvent, because solvent is being continuously poured, with enough solvent, the red fraction will also reach the bottom of the column, the extraction column, the chromatography column, and then that can be collected into a separate test tube. And then if you have the blue fraction, that can be collected into a separate column. Now, if it is colored compounds, it's very easy to separate, because if you are having a mixture of red, green, and yellow plant pigments, and you want to separate them using the silica gel, then it's very easy to do that, because they three have different affinity for silica gel, and they will be separated at different times, and it's very visible, because the three fractions, one is red in color, one is green in color, and one is yellow in color. Then it will be so easy to identify and separate them. But otherwise, we will have to identify them using thin layer chromatography or further analysis techniques like HPLC or something like that will need to be done in order to identify which the properties of that components. So this is a process that can be used to identify the bioactive components of mixtures as well. Like if you have a plant extract and you want to isolate the different bioactive components, then column chromatography and HPLC are the two main methods that are used in order to do this. So what is the principle behind this? So when the mobile phase along with the mixture that needs to be separated is introduced from the top of the column, then the movement of the individual components of the mixture is at different rates based on the affinity it has got for the matrix, the solid matrix, silica gel in this case. So the components with lower adsorption and affinity to the stationary phase will travel faster when compared to those with greater adsorption affinity with the stationary phase. And when these components that move fast, they will be removed faster. And so we could isolate them as fractions. And then like every chromatography principle, like you would have done paper chromatography in your 12th standard and all. So for every chromatography principle, it will be the retardation factor, the RF, that is the distance traveled by the solute divided by the distance traveled by the solvent at a particular point of time. That will be the or rather the first time point at which the solvent reaches, like we are adding the solvent also from the top. So the moment that solvent reaches the bottom of the column, if you at that point of time, the length of the column will be the amount to which the solvent has traveled. And then we are looking at each of the solvent and finding out the length to which each of the solutes have traveled. Then that will be, that ratio will be the RF for each solute. And depending on that, you can actually calculate the amount of time that will be required for the elution of each of the separate fractions, and thereby they can be collected. So what is the requirement for the stationary phase? So stationary phase, we will be normally using something like silica gel. So what are the requirements for the stationary phase? The stationary phase should be having a uniform shape, preferably cylindrical or oval, and it should be in the range of 660 to 200 micrometers in diameter. And it should be stable, it should be inert, and it should be colorless, inexpensive, and it should be chemically inert, as in it should not react with whatever you are trying to extract, nor it should react with the solvent being used. And it should allow the free flow of the solvent that is being used, that's the mobile phase. And it should also be suitable for the separation of the mixtures. So it should have variable affinity towards the different compounds that you are trying to isolate. Now, what are the applications of column chromatography? Column chromatography is normally used, as I said, to isolate active ingredients, and then also to isolate colored pigments. So it's very helpful in separating very complex mixtures, to separate out the different classes of compounds from compound mixtures. And it is also used to determine drug estimation from drug formulations and to remove impurities. It is also used in the purification process of certain mixtures, because the impurities will have a certain RF retention factor, and the desired compound will have another RF, and so they will separate out at different times, and they can be eluted out at different times and thereby separated. Now, it's also used for isolation of metabolites from biological fluids. Like if you want to separate different metabolites, then if you want to separate like a polymer like glycogen and something like a salt or some lower molecular weight molecules, then the lesser molecular weight molecules which have lesser affinity will elute out faster as compared to the polymers. So depending on those also, column chromatography could be used. So that is the basic principle of column chromatography. Now coming to the procedure. So the what you will have is, the first one is the loading of the solvent. So the loading of the sample. So the sample will be loaded at the top of the column. So you first take the column and fill it with your stationary phase, that is silica gel in this case. And once you have filled it with silica gel beads, then the mobile phase is either the solvent or the solvent mixture, and that is loaded into the column. And once that is done, the compound mixture, what needs to be separated, is added from the top of the column. So in such a way that like you are not mixing it, you are very gently, without mixing or causing any turbulence to the column, you need to just add it like very gently. And then the tab below is opened, and as and when the solute level, the solvent level is reducing, you need to top it up with more solvent. So once that is done, you will look for the various compounds. So the compounds, it will have some amount of color, and so you will have a clear zones in between the colored zones where your compounds are there. And so depending on that, you will be able to notice and clear out your various compounds. And that is the basic principle and procedure for the working of column chromatography. Now, why use this column chromatography? Like normally you will have these bioactive compounds in plant extract. Like say if you have aloe vera, and you are having different kinds of lecithins over there. There are other plant pigments over there. You have emodin over there. There are various bioactive components. And once you have all of these, you need to separate them out and identify what their individual effects are before you can then again combine one or two of each of them. And say you are extracting one lecithin and adding it to emodin in case of aloe vera and something like that. So, and then you want to see when combined what these are doing, when alone, like in a standalone fashion, what they are capable of doing. These are all important studies in terms of the the mechanistic properties of a compound. And they are all important studies in terms of drug development or pharmaceutically active molecules, or else it's also important in food, because you need to know the interactions of each of these components, what they are doing, how they are affecting, and all that before you are able to approve a food formulation. So that also becomes an important factor. And that is one major consideration. And column chromatography is used for all of these purposes. Now, so what would be the expected results? So you should be able to separate out the compounds in the lipid mixture that has been provided to you. And then finally, this will be a continuation experiment where we'll be doing thin layer chromatography. That will be in the next session. And with that, they will be separated out and analyzed. So that is the process which is supposed to happen in this session, where the lipid mixture that you have isolated in the previous session will be separated out in order to find out its various active components. So that'll be all for the session for the column chromatography. Have a nice day. Thank you.